sellouts, Lehman Brothers, Goldman Sachs, false flag, terror attacks, Bill Gates, Henry Kissinger, New World Order, mind control, Bank of America stealing homes with cut and paste mortgage loans, police, state, taser guns, FEMA camps, man to run, Monsanto rules the food supply while Big Pharma dopes your mind, prison system, puppeteers, foundations, fund the fears, fund the evil through the years, the world's not as it appears. CIA smuggles drugs while Wachovia and Wells Fargo launder them, then give the proceeds to the owners of the Federal Reserve Bank. Now the IRS takes money out of every single check. Money created out of thin air and leave you with debt. They want to make you a serf, a slave to their demand. They want to take your life in every way they can. Fluoride, GMO, vaccines, chemtrails, United Nations genocide. The world they show us is not real. This is how they kill and steal. Rothschild, Bundy, Rockefeller, Club of Rome. On the Georgia Guide, songs is written in stone. Cut through the matrix, awaken to the lies. Do not be hypnotized. We are one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Shameless plug.
We are change, exposing the collectivist global elite's Malthusian quest for a new world order. A one-world dictatorial government where all aspects of human life are under their control. Truth Talk Radio, where news the mainstream media ignores is the top story and your voice is heard.
We Are Change Connecticut, Saturdays 5 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on truthbroadcastnetwork.com. Audio simulcast on Project Freedom Radio, Project Freedom WS, and nformedradio.com. That's the letter N. FORMD radio.com. Okay, we are back. It is not Christmas 1940 in every town, but the images you're seeing are from the movie The Things to Come. I thought Vinny and I would chat a little. You're back there, Vinny? There you are.
Hey. Yeah.
With that in the background. I'm going to see if I can do that. I'm getting a lot of echo from you, buddy. You might have to go my route and get headphones for next week, but it's all right. I can hear you, but how are you doing now? Speak.
I've been muting it, so
yeah, you're gonna have to. You're gonna have to do that old game. Yeah. Oh well, we did that for like 20 shows, 30 shows.
Yeah, we do what we got to do, you know.
Yeah, we do what we got to do. That's what we do. Yeah, I was just wondering if I can get a little small. I think I can. I think I actually can get. I'm not sure. I'm trying to with this. Not the best with this whole. No, that's the other way around. I don't want that. There is a way I can make you like small, and that would be really cool, you know. And
well, you don't have to show me. You could show the video.
Yeah, I like it. Then you could be in there, you know. Why not? I'm trying to figure out how I can do it. I'm learning as we go along, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone and I love you all, everybody who are the loyal listeners, and I know we've got a nice group of them. Thank you so much, and for dealing with me getting through this technology. But you can see in the last 2 weeks it's gotten better. But yeah, I'm still a little bit, I guess you could say, challenged by the new system. I can make your face like small and have it in the background too, but there's some way to do it. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Maybe I can go like that. No, it's just telling me to go back. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I can show it this way. That's actually something I could do. I didn't realize that. I can make you small here. This is one thing I can do. Creativity on the spot. All right. So I'll make you small.
So Howie, I wanted to mention 9/11 coming up.
Yes, it is.
So it was a big day to me. I was down there last year. That's how I got to become friends with a lot of good guys. That's how I met Jesse William Wallace and Alec. And looking forward to going down again. I know you said you're going down, right?
Oh,
and,
yes. We're going to be down there with Harry Lincoln, truthbroadcastnetwork.com, and doing live feed from there, brother.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I will definitely be a part of that. It's something I don't ever want to miss. September 11 down there.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's a hard thing to deal with, but I mean, you know, it is the right thing to do. Again, it's a tough day for me. I mean, my cousin died. He worked for Cantor Fitzgerald, so it has a personal place for me. And again, most people in his mother is awake. She doesn't believe the story, but she's not one to be vocal. So what can I say about that? And she doesn't go to the memorial. So it's sad. You know, his name was Alan Merdinger. He worked for Cantor Fitzgerald. He was an accountant. He lived in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and he commuted from Allentown, Pennsylvania every day to the World Trade Center. You know?
Yeah. Also, speaking of Pennsylvania, you made me remember the other day, actually, I got to see you playing Kelly Derrick's Thing for Millions Against Monsanto, her speech, and that was awesome. You know, Kelly Derrick's a very close friend of mine. She's a great person. That's another person maybe one day we'll have her come on. She's Agent Orange. His legacy was started by her. Her father was a Vietnam War hero, came back, was involved in the bust, which is one of the biggest things in Philadelphia history for the cops. The biggest heroin bust was her father. And, you know, great person, amazing story. And she has a lot of information about Monsanto.
Oh, yeah, they're my favorite. They're one of the main reasons I'm still, or I started to do this, is I went, a good friend of mine, Jock Williams, the Singer-Songwriter Network here in Torrington, Connecticut, and I'm a part of it. He does a radio show on WAPJ radio, FM radio, and he asked me to come on and talk about some political things. So I figured, okay, that's great, you know. I mean, shouldn't be any problem, right? So I start talking about Monsanto and vaccines and all these other things, and the station manager rips down the street and it comes in the station and says, you can't, and waits till the break, and you can't talk about that here. And I had a big fight with them, and they kicked me out of the station and told me never to come back because I wanted to talk about Monsanto. So that was my first resistance, and that was in October of 2000, and I think it was 2010. And,
freedom of speech, huh?
Yeah, my freedom of speech was limited, yeah. And that started me on my quest. I was making videos and getting, that's how it all sort of started. I was, you know, doing my research. I woke up, you know, and I started spreading this information. And the Monsanto was one of the first things I delved into. And it's probably one of the worst things because they are just so entrenched in everything we eat. Not just everything we eat, they're military-industrial complex. They make poisons and pesticides and...
yeah, Roundup and all that.
Yeah, so it's not only do they make things that we eat, ladies and gentlemen, they make poison to kill people, kill things. Yeah, Monsanto's a bad deal. So that was a big realization to wake up and realize that Monsanto had so much control that I was talking about Monsanto, and that was the real reason. And it's interesting because right before that, they had an Autism Speaks commercial. That was okay. on the television. I mean, on the radio. Like, that was the commercial. And I started mentioning stuff about it and about vaccines, and they went wild. Oh, my God. So what can I say? Resistance to tyranny is obedience to God. You know, that's all I can say.
Monsanto really is the most powerful company, I feel like. You know, if not, it's definitely got to be up there. To me, it's the #1 evil company that needs to be taken down. You know, besides, let's say, the Federal Reserve. But, you know, for just regular corporation, that is the epitome of evil, is Monsanto.
Oh, it is. They do terrible experiments and horrific things, splicing food with animals, and really wild, crazy, like, Dr. Moreau type stuff,
Or Dr. Mengele.
Dr. Mengele, yeah.
What I was going to say is, we were talking about before, then we went to break. I was saying how I really haven't been able to hear too much news of the, recent things. So maybe you could fill me in, and maybe other listeners that don't know. But, like, what are some of the big things I've missed in the past couple months? The only thing I kept seeing was, the shootings and the Olympics, Tell me more about the what's going on with Iran and all that, because I really don't know.
Well, again, Israel is now, I had some news right here. Saudi Arabia says it's going to intercept Israeli planes if they decide to strike Iran. We, of course, back Israel. Interesting thing, because Saudi Arabia and America are supposed to be friends. We have war drums beating, man. We have more. Syria they're just striking. In fact, Hillary is out there, they're just ready to take out Assad. They're just planning for his demise. They literally are. They're actually reporting it on the mainstream news. They're preparing for his demise, whatever that means. So he's going down. Syria's next. And the Rothschilds will get their central bank again and take all the resources and all the money.
Mm-hmm. Or this could be, with again, another thing that they've been talking about for a long time is World War III.
Oh, it is World War III. It's going to be, because it won't happen. Saudi Arabia is going to intercept Israeli attacks. Israel is going to attack Iran. They're not going to wait. They say they have the intelligence. They're doing the same playbook, Vinny. Weapons of mass destruction. We have credible evidence. We know there are weapons of mass destruction. I did a whole video on that where it shows it.
Right?
Yeah. Where are they? Yeah. They got rid of them by the time we got there. That's what they did. Yeah. Now, this whole thing, interestingly enough, King Obama is sort of hush-hush and mum on this whole situation with the Iran nuclear weapons. He's sort of the White House is taking a mum stance, yet they're more interested in the Syrian situation, where they're speaking about Syria and dealing with that issue, saying that they will again be planning the end of Assad's regime. I don't know what else to say about that. Obviously, they have their ducks in a row. So then you have the green energy politics now. You got Solyndra and other companies they give all this money to. They go out of business over and over again. These energy companies going green. Agenda 21 is just causing the absolute destruction of our economy. It's helping destroy. Every dollar they put into green energy takes away a job from an American. It's that true.
Yeah.
Now, Obama has now funded another company called Solar Trust, who filed for bankruptcy protection on Monday. It had the rights for the 1,000 megawatt Blythe solar panel project in Southern California, which you'd think they would get plenty of sunlight, right? Anyway, in the desert. Anyway, last April, they won a $2.1 billion conditional loan guarantee, but now they're bankrupt. So, obviously, that's a problem. They got the loan guarantee from the Department of Energy. What a shock. Now, Reuters, Rothschild, reported Solar Trust of America, which holds development rights for the world's largest solar power plant, on Monday filed for bankruptcy protection under its majority owner, and they began insolvency proceedings in Germany. The Oakland-based company has held rights for the 1,000-megawatt Blythe solar power project in the Southern California desert, which last April won a $2.1 billion of conditional loan guarantees from the U.S. Department of Energy, and it's unclear of how the bankruptcy will affect that project. Now, Solar Trust says that it ran short of liquidity after the Solar Millennium Act. More like they ran short of liquidity as the globalists took all their money, which holds 70% stake court protection. All right, very nice. Taxpayers could lose $2 billion, but what's another $2 billion, right? It's all good, right? We're all friends. It's all the same debt. 17 trillion, who cares? Our great-grandchildren being enslaved, being serfs, while the elite continue to milk and pillage and have all the cush jobs. And it's the same thing with the music business, man. We talked about this, and I'm going to be happy to have Professor Griff on, somebody that actually made it in the music business and exposed the truth about it. It doesn't matter how good you are.
And you see, one of the things with him that's always interesting is you got the guy Flavor Flay, who's like the puppet and is not into speaking the truth, and that's why he's all over MTV and all of that. And you got Professor Griff like blackballed, Yeah,
no, I do know. But again, having been part of it and decided that, when you get to understanding what's going on, say, fuck that, I mean, I've been in the music business on and off for 20 years more, my God. Actually went on the road for 4 years. I was, that was 3 years doing stuff like that. And in my early life, when I was a kid, when I got married, we went on the road a little bit. And it was never like, there was never that opportunity. Not that it was not saying that it wasn't our own fault for not trying hard enough, because, that does, the work ethic, I don't know, whatever. Situations. I had a really good band, Ice Angel, and it had some issues. I mean, I was with the singer. The singer was my girlfriend, and caught her in bed with the keyboard player, and that was a pretty bad thing. So we had this we had this like Fleetwood Mac thing going on, like that kind of thing, and it just ended up destroying the band. And the band had potential, so who knows what could have been. But I was always peripherally there. I made a living at it, recording. I record bands too. I have a recording studio. I used to do live. I used to actually do it for 2 years. I did it for a living straight, recording other people's music. But then it just dried up, and I lost a lot of money. And it's getting into my personal life. But one of the things that woke me up was some of the losses that I endured during my awakening from 2007 on. I mean, I've only been awake since 2007, man, and I was only peripherally awake. As you know, it's a process, and I was already losing things by the time I woke up. Stock market frauds, all sorts of bullshit that I fell prey to. The only good thing I would have to say that came out of it is the fact that I own my home and I don't have a mortgage. But other than that, I'm pretty much close to the vest now, because I lost so much that I had, and I took years to get. So I'm another one of these people that woke up because of loss. So unfortunately, the masses will wake up when it really starts to hit the fan. Now I know that the Ponzi scheme is going to blow up. I mean, the Federal Reserve is due to expire at the end of the year. We all know that. What's going to happen? They're not even talking about it. What are they going to do? They're going to just, on the 22nd, say we signed a new thing for another 100 years? Probably. Either that, or there'll be a war, and China's going to say, we want to get paid. And then they're going to say, no, we're not going to pay you. And the Federal Reserve is going to say, we're not going to renew it. You have to give us the assets for all this fraudulent debt. I mean, there's so many scenarios, but that's what they are. They're scenarios. We don't know what's going to happen. But we know it's not going to be for the people. We the people, help the people. Oh, no, it's not about that. That's why we do this. Isn't that true, Vinny?
Yeah, it is, Howie. I wanted to ask you one more question since you're talking about all this stuff. What's going on, like with the Obama and Romney? You know, I know they're both.
Romney?
Yeah, like what's the media portraying? You know, is it Obama for another 4 years or?
Oh my
You know,
God, he is just arrogantly, taking position that he's going to be getting reelected. I think they're obviously they put Paul Ryan. Paul Ryan was touted as the vice presidential candidate, which I think is a terrible waste since he's much better in Congress, if you ask me.
yeah.
You know,
Wow.
so they picked him as a running mate because they wouldn't pick Ron Paul. God
That's what I was
forbid.
just going to ask. What's going on with Ron Paul?
Ron Paul is very silent. I myself, again, I'm a libertarian. I really I liked Wright a lot. I think Wright would be a great president. I like him more than I like Gary Johnson. But Gary Johnson got the libertarian vote, so I'll probably vote for him. If Ron Paul decides to run as an independent and be a spoiler, it's going to be the same situation of 1912, where Teddy Roosevelt did the same thing and he spoiled the election. And we know Roosevelt was a J.P. Morgan minion because of all the trusts and everything that was broken, including the Rockefellers. You think the Rothschilds suffered? Not a dime. Not a dime. They didn't touch their assets at all. It's a fact. Look it up, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we speak. I say it all the time. I speak truth, but find your own truth. Do the research. There is only one truth, and that is a big one, that the Rothschilds never lose when everybody else does. Remember that. So,
Yeah, they consolidate. That they actually, yeah, they're always gaining, even while everybody's losing, and then they buy up pennies on the dollar.
Exactly, and they're doing it again. It's going to happen. The worst depression in human history is about to occur, ladies and gentlemen. And that's not fear-mongering. I'm not pulling no Alex Jones shit. It's just common sense. This Ponzi scheme can't continue. Jobs are slacking. They have these little modest gains, and they make these tremendous... Oh, my God, we got 130,000 jobs. Whoa, it's great. I mean, it's a lie. Come on, you need 175,000 just to keep the economy going. To grow, you need at least 250, 300,000 jobs, 400,000 jobs a month. And then people like Clinton, they put him in there when they set up his whole economic Ponzi scheme. They set him up so to make him look good. So they listened to him.
Yeah, I was going to say, like you mentioned, they could work the numbers any way they want. Yeah. But even a lot of the jobs that they keep creating, or the few that they do, it's always more government jobs. It's no more the private sector. There's no more.
And they make it hard for you to have your own little business. If you want to have a little mom and pop shop, it's ridiculous. You can't afford it.
The only ones who could pay the taxes and cover all the overhead, it's these big corporations. It's people with money,
exactly.
And they squeeze. There is no more middle class.
You're right. There is no middle class. It's on the way to serfdom. You have this descending serfdom. You made 50 last year. You're going to make 40 in 2 years, and in 5 years you'll be on welfare. I'm sorry.
And the price is just going to keep going up as the value of the money goes down, which it will continue because they keep stealing and printing.
And it's fundamental, and we realize it obviously, and we're trying to wake the people up because there's not much time. I mean, there really isn't much time, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I know Vinny and I, our resources are strung out, sort of. We're like at a critical teetering point. I mean, even though I own my house, I mean, I'm house. What are the old adage? House rich and cash poor. Well, that's true, and that's by design. I'm just lucky that I managed to. The one thing I did when I was sleeping in 2005 was I knew, because I always had this instinctive knowledge. I always had a disdain for the medical community. I always knew that they were crooks, always, because I was in sales, and I could see how they used sales techniques. Now, if you're a doctor, you're not supposed to try to sell your patient. You're supposed to try to treat your patient. And they were selling. I mean, they were using sales techniques that I learned as a salesperson. And that really disturbed me. And I was sleeping at that point. I didn't realize what was really going on in the world, but I knew that was a tyranny. And then I go through my whole life believing a lie. And the one thing that I realized is I bought my house in Queens. I bought my house in 1997. No, 1999. Excuse me, 1999. For $199,000. I had a $100,000 mortgage, and I paid the house until 2005. I got my 2005. I refinanced actually once in the middle because the rates went down. And I took some money and whatever, paid some debts. And then in 2005, I get my tax bill and it says my appraised value of my house from the city of New York is $525,000. And I'm like, it's insane. It's impossible. Now, talk about having to make a lot of money to live in New York City. Everything is ridiculously expensive. You know that, right? So we made the smartest decision we ever made, and we sold our house, paid our mortgage, and bought a house for cash here in northwestern Connecticut, where we're like sort of like not part of this grid that everyone's in. I mean, my city's got 30,000 people in Torrington. You know, I mean, it's a small city. You know, pretty much people know everybody. You know, it's not this metropolitan.
Not as small as where I was, Howie.
No, that's true. Not as small as where you were. But I mean, and it's not probably. I mean, it's a safer place to be if there's ever any mayhem that, you know, the order out of chaos that's coming. It's a safer place to be. But ultimately, we will find a safer place. But my point was, I thought I was well positioned. I had things going on, but I was deceived by the market. I was deceived by the deindustrialization. I remember I spent like $250, $300 changing all my light bulbs to the light bulbs that are supposed to save you money. My fucking light bill didn't go down $1. I know I changed all these bulbs to these bulbs that cause cancer, these bulbs that emit radiation and dirty electricity, these CFL bulbs, whatever they are. And I ended up having to throw them all away because once I woke up, I realized what that was all about, and that actually they can use the frequency response to listen in on your house. I mean, that's what they do for folks that don't have the internet, ladies and gentlemen. For those that are not aware, they listen in through your new light bulbs. These swirly lights, you know, those swirly bulbs, those CFL bulbs. Yeah. Anyway, again, it's all true. Don't believe me. Look it up. Find your own truth. There's only one. But it's madness, man. It's really absolute madness. It really is. I don't know what else to say.
I know.
This is what they do.
Yeah.
Hey, do you know that there's an Orwellian domain awareness system in NYPD? They just
never heard of it.
Oh, listen to this. The domain awareness system is, aside from its obvious, like, crazy Orwellian type name, it's a super surveillance system database through a partnership between Microsoft and the city of New York. The system allows NYPD 24 access to closed-circuit TV feeds from around the city while simultaneously cross-checking criminal and terrorist databases. Imagine that.
That's
and
scary.
not only that, speaking of the importance of security over freedom, Bloomberg, you know, who wants to, like, make sure you can't have a 16-ounce soda or anything more than that, wants no salt in your food.
Yeah, well, he's a billionaire.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, I guess he likes to eat that way, and he figures everybody should be like him, except for the point of how much money he has. You know, everybody who lives like Bloomberg, you know, I don't put too much salt on my food. I don't need more than a 16-ounce soda. I don't understand why there's this obesity problem. Well, I don't understand why there's this poverty problem with all these wealthy bastards that are taking all the wealth from the nation in the name of helping the people, which is a fucking lie. It's the biggest lie that there is. And the Democrats are to blame, and the Republicans are to blame. Believe me, the Republicans are to blame, like the Democrats always blame the Republicans. But guess what? The Democrats are even worse. Because all they do is waste the money on ridiculous programs that they know don't work.
Well, they're the blue side.
They're the blue side of the Masonic,
blue Masons, whatever.
The Crips and the Bloods, right? Exactly.
And the blue side, the Obama and them, they're communists. They're socialists. and then you got the red side, you know, the Bloods, and the Republicans, the big corporation guys. They're the
That's right.
capitalists.
We got, listen, we'll be right back in just a minute. There's a small break here. We'll talk more about the Bloods and the deceivers and the believers here on We Are Change Connecticut. Thanks, Vinny. We'll be right back. That was As Your Soul, my personal band. And you are listening to We Are Change Connecticut on Project Freedom Radio.
UN Agenda 21, bailouts, sellouts, Lehman Brothers, Goldman Sachs, false flag, terror attacks, Bill Gates, Henry Kissinger, New World Order, mind control, Bank of America stealing homes with cut and paste mortgage loans, police, state, taser guns, FEMA camps, land to run. Monsanto rules the food supply while Big Pharma dopes your mind. Prison system, profiteers, foundations, fund the fears, fund the evil through the years. The world's not as it appears. CIA smuggles drugs while Wachovia and Wells Fargo launder them, then give the proceeds to the owners of the Federal Reserve Bank. Now the IRS takes money out of every single check. Money created out of thin air and leave you with debt. They want to make you a serf, a slave to their demand. They want to take your life in every way they can. Fluoride, GMO, vaccines, chemtrails, United Nations genocide. The world they show us is not real. This is how they kill and steal. Rothschild, Bundy, Rockefeller, Club of Rome. On the Georgia guys, soldiers written in stone. Cut through the matrix, awaken to the lies. Do not be hypnotized. We are one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We are change, exposing the collectivist global elite's Malthusian quest for a new world order. A one-world dictatorial government where all aspects of human life are under their control. Truth Talk Radio, where news the mainstream media ignores is the top story and your voice is heard.
We Are Change Connecticut, Saturdays, 5 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on truthbroadcastnetwork.com. Audio simulcast on Project Freedom Radio, Project Freedom WS, and nformedradio.com. That's the letter N, F-O-R-M-D, radio.com. Okay, we're back. I'm Howard Nema with my co-host, Vinny Bdatruth. Vinny, how's it going?
It's good to be back doing it with you, Howard.
It is so awesome to be back and to be free Americans, sovereign, with inalienable rights granted to us by God, that these communist, fascist scum wish to steal from us. And I think
you talk about the Constitution, right? That piece of paper that the Supreme Court nobody obeys.
Yeah, the one that George Bush said is just a piece of paper.
Just a goddamn piece of paper, right?
Just a goddamn piece of paper.
Yeah.
That's right. That piece of paper.
I thought I heard of something called the Constitution.
Yeah, that used to be something that actually they would used to go to school and they would teach you about the Constitution. Not anymore. Now they teach you about the United Nations.
Yeah, that's right.
It's absolutely true. And anybody that denies it, why don't you go look at your own children's school books? Even my own son, who goes to Catholic school, and I'm not even going to go into the horrors of my... I was like, again, my wife went to 12 years of Catholic school, and she was like, he's got to go to Catholic school, he can't go to public school. Now, I went to public school, and I actually attained an education. I was asleep, and I learned a lot, but I mean, I actually got a good education. I went to a good school in New York City. It was Bayside High School at a time when there was education to be gained. In fact, I remember Mr. Major, I think his name was John Major. He was an English teacher, and in our junior year, and it happened to be 1984, junior year of high school, and we read the book 1984 when I was but 17 years of age. And I didn't get the book. I remember, and he was trying to explain things, and well, that just can't happen. That doesn't occur. You know, I was already bubblegum mind controlled by the media of the early 70s and 80s. That was the first, or really the second generation of television, where it enhanced even more mind-controlling techniques. And I feel that our nation has come to the point where the corporations rule, the people must buy from them, and they must buy from the ones that are chosen. And if you don't, they're going to put that particular smaller company out of business, till eventually there'll only be one store for everything.
Monopolies. The
Yes.
way the Rockefellers like.
Yes, and interestingly enough, again, and Eustace Mullins' work, The World Order, everybody should read. The PDF is available widely on YouTube, on Google it. Just Google Eustace Mullins, The World Order. You can get the PDF. It's all actual documentation. It's real. It's truth. It's absolutely there. It's factual. It's documented from the Library of Congress, no less, and other sources. And the book sources are all there. It's an incredible work. And it does show that even though the Rockefellers were taken away, so quote unquote, held to the fire, because listen, here's what happened. You had a family that was known and to be evil. In fact, even after the trusts were broken up, their evil continued. And you had the Ludlow massacre of 1914, Ludlow, Colorado, where an entire family, women and children, men, women, and children, aunts and uncles included, burned to death in their home in the basement, locked in and burned to the ground by the Pinkertons, who were hired by the Rockefellers. Now, these same Rockefellers, only 3 years earlier or 4 years earlier, were put under something called antitrust violations. The antitrust laws were enacted earlier to break up the trusts. Theodore Roosevelt put them in place, but they weren't really utilized. And Kennesaw Mountain Landis broke up Standard Oil. Kennesaw Mountain Landis later, of course, became the commissioner of baseball and changed the rulings on baseball forever. He gave himself absolute power and stated that anything that a commissioner of baseball states is absolute. So he became in himself a dictator with the baseball. But it was an interesting situation because he had broken up the powerful trusts. But he gave the most power to the Major League Baseball commissioner, interestingly enough, when he had the opportunity to rout out the evil from the Chicago White Sox scandal of the fraud, like as if it's hysterical. When of course it was a everybody knows of the Black Sox scandal in 1919.
Shoeless Joe Jackson.
Yeah, exactly, right. Everybody knows that. I mean, even the sheep know about that. And Honor Rothstein. Okay.
Well, we have Hollywood to thank. Field of Dreams, things like that.
Oh, yeah, that's true. If they did, they probably wouldn't know otherwise. You're right. It's the dumbing down of society, as we've said.
Well, like you were saying before, you were talking about Howie. I'm sorry to cut you off, but
go ahead, please.
I didn't want to get too far away from it because you were talking about even like in the 70s and when you were growing up, 80s, whatever, that there was mind control. This has been going on for a while, but what was like? I feel like the 60s, 70s when they started to push drugs and sex for the people. And now I'd like to talk about what I've been seeing for the past like 10, 15 years. The 2000, 90, late 90s, 2000, not to offend anybody, but the truth is the truth, and I have to say this. The minute I try to watch anything, maybe like a week or two ago, someone came with a movie, told me, the new American Pie, it's funny, you got to put it on. So they put it on, and I try to watch American Pie, and I literally couldn't even make it through probably 20 minutes of the movie, and I felt really uncomfortable with all the homosexual innuendos.
Oh,
and
there's a
themes.
lot of it. Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. It's
And
all over the
everywhere
place.
I look now,
It's very
they're pushing the
very
homosexual
yes,
agenda.
yes. It's true.
And it's been going on for at least 10 years, in my opinion, a little more. And that's why we're starting to see the effect now of the mind control of all the little girls as lesbians, the guys wearing skinny jeans and feminized. You know, this is the mind control that's been going on lately. And you know, I was just going to ask you, what do you think about that? Do you think that's fair when I'm saying, like, that was the sex and
listen,
drugs when you grew up?
I think
And,
that there's a lot there, brother. And I think that you cannot dispute, one cannot dispute that there is now not only more acceptability towards homosexual behavior on film and in TV shows and in videos and in even advertisements, that you cannot deny it has been increasing over the last, say, several years, you know? And you can't deny that the issues that are going along with it are working along the same lines and the same Hegelian type control or dialectic, for that, using that word, that the Rockefellers used with women's lib. Different agenda, different type scenario, but really almost the same concept. Isn't that true? You have an order of people controlling other people that think that they have control. And that's what they do. So when it comes to this thing with the homosexuality, you're right, because one of the most publicized shows, for some reason, is this show Spartacus.
oh yeah, I've heard you talk about, yes. And
I
all
talk
the
about it all
male
the time.
nudity.
And I, like, you know, my wife is like, you really like this, don't you? Because she catches me watching the show. And I'm like, yeah, I watch the show. I do. It's on Stars. I kept not realizing what station it is. But if it's on and I'm seeing it, I'm watching it. And I'm, like, evaluating it. And it is unbelievable. I don't know if you have Stars, Vinny, but you know, one time
No.
I'll try to, like, burn it or something. Or I think I have a DVD. I don't even know what I have with the cable shit. I think I actually have it. I could DVR it or whatever. But it's like, I'm not into all that. I just don't even deal with it. I hate having to deal with...
It's okay. I watched the Game of Thrones because my girlfriend liked it.
Oh, okay. There you go.
And I watched Game of Thrones, and, you know, there's homosexual stuff in there, too. I mean, it's a part of everything. It's commercials. It's everywhere. And it's not that...
And I'm not against homosexuals. We have to understand that there's a reason for it, right? I mean,
yeah, but to me, it's supposed to be a small fraction, or at least it used to be a small fraction of the population.
Well, also
the fact that it has to be like 80% of everything I look at has to be homosexual doesn't make sense to me.
It does make sense. You know why it makes sense?
If you have evil agendas like we know, then it makes sense.
Club of Rome makes sense. It makes sense because what ends up happening, ladies and gentlemen, is that you're going to end up having a lot of people that are just going to decide to maybe be parents. This is true. Okay. But they're going to decide that it's going to be, you know, I have 2 mommies and I have 2 daddies and I have children. And they might even have 4 or 5 kids, you know, and they'll adopt them. And that's going to be done because I'll be honest with you guys, and this is all statistical. Generally speaking, and this is very general, and this is, I don't know how else you can quantify this other than the fact that I've noticed this to be true. I don't have any, I can honestly say I haven't researched the statistics, but I think that you've all come to thought of this, but it really is sort of true. That, and again, I don't want to be accused of being a racist or whatever, or a misogynist or whatever, but homosexuals, whether they're women or men, tend to have good jobs, stable home life as far as their, you know, maybe their practices we don't like, but technically they make more money than the average person. They like to, like, I mean, they like to, like, take care of themselves. I mean, they're, you know what I'm trying to they like to, like, dress nice or whatever, you know. They're flamboyant, whatever you want to call it, all right? And that's a fact. So I think that they would, of course, tap into this because it's a resource where these folks, not only are they homosexual and will not procreate because of being homosexual.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the
right?
reasons.
Well, that's the main reason. So that they're not going to procreate, but they might want to like get sperm from someone or do this or have children or whatever. But it's going to be the more people that are going to do that, the less people they're going to want to have children. And the drug society.
Well, and another thing I want to add to that, I just want to add another theory onto why they do that, is actually again from my hero Cooper, the Porterville one I talk about. What they do is they want to. He didn't talk so much about homosexuals. He was talking about like the Mexican, like about illegal immigration. I'm gonna add homosexuality, the races, religions. What they do is they're creating victims, and you know when you have a victim, what does a victim need? The victim needs help. So they're like creating all these victims that are sit there and say, well, I'm a victim, I need help from the government, and they are then always going to be voting, let's say, blue side, liberal, socialist. They're the ones who are going to give away the right, ask for government to provide everything for them, and that's what he was talking about with victims. And I feel like that also goes for the homosexual. That's definitely, I think, one of the things is to create a victim class.
Well, listen to this. You're right about that, and also listen to this. I don't know if you heard, Vinny, the other day, Ann Coulter said, you know, she
No.
and then Ann Coulter is like really like, you know,
Yeah, I know who she is.
I sort of like she's like I don't know, wickedly evil. You know, and it's funny because all the mind control people on the left were like, oh that's great. He doesn't like Ann Coulter. See, that's how they're mind controlled. Like so all the people would like hate Ann Coulter because they're like left leaning Democrats or whatever you want to say. They don't understand the whole concept. But Ann Coulter was saying all of this stuff about how the women that are on welfare because the state becomes their husband, and you know they're basically fucking the state. You know, like, you know, in other words, that's their thing. You know, and they more or less, you know, the state is taking the place of a husband
and daddy take care of me.
Right, and you know something? Interestingly enough, an African American called in on the phone call because it was a show from it was on the radio that I was listening on, mainstream radio as far as Connecticut radio.
Oh, mainstream.
What? Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it was talking about, they were criticizing her and on it, and it was interesting because I thought it was interesting that they were criticizing her. But the fact is that she was making this assumption that, and it was Rush Limbaugh who was making the criticism, because if a man had said what she said and sort of got over with because she's a woman, it's okay. But the truth of the matter is that there was a lot of truth to that because of the social control, because of what we're talking about, like the way the Rockefellers controlled the whole feminist movement to begin with. So it's all coming full circle in this particular conversation right now, because now you look at Ann Coulter saying that women are victims, okay, of society because they don't have a man, they can't have a man, or they're ugly. I mean, really, that came into place, and they become displaced. And that was talking on the heterosexual side. Okay, I'm talking heterosexual, right?
Yeah.
Because that is the subculture. Because I'll be honest with you, I guarantee you, if you check the actual welfare rolls, you'll find very few people on the welfare rolls in comparison to the general population who are homosexual, because of the things I just mentioned before. And I don't know why. I'm not being judgmental about it, but whatever it is, they don't tend to suck off the system. Whereas these other people have been designed to, and women have actually been designed to, like, you know, a woman sees another woman with a baby and a man, and she says, oh, and to the man, oh, is that your baby? You know, like who else would it be? You know, like assuming that it might not be your baby, instead of assuming that you've been married for 20 years and That's, yeah, my son's 13, but I don't know if it's your baby. Well, what do you mean? You mean he's 13? I've been married 20 years. What, did my wife go out to a bar and meet somebody and have, you know?
Well,
But people have
unfortunately,
been
people are
drugged
so
down
conditioned
and doped
to doing
down,
that.
and
Yeah.
you know, and they do. They have men with they have women with that have children with 4 different men. I mean, and these people are sucking on society for their bad decisions. And now again, I don't want to be like too critical, because it's not really criticism. It's societal social control. Because now they want everyone. Now they want even good families to have to suck off the system and get benefits, because the bankers, of course, benefit the most. Oh, I can talk for hours.
Yeah, well, once you get hooked on the system, then that is your daddy providing for you, and you better do what daddy says, or he's not going to provide for you.
That's the other
So,
thing. That's the double-edged sword. That's what people don't understand, Vinny.
Yeah.
That they're going to be trapped, and they're going to
Yeah,
be
and
like,
they don't understand that the government doesn't produce anything. So in order for them to give you something, they have to take away something. So that's the thing. And again, that's the victims. When you're a victim, you start looking for help, as opposed to, founding fathers and people a long time ago, where it was about, hey, stay far away from me. I want as least, the least to do with you as possible.
exactly.
I'm just going to have my land. I'm going to grow my food. I'm going to have water, and that's it.
Hey, the guy
That's
went
all
to
you
jail 30 days, Vinny. He got for collecting water. The guy in California got 30 days in jail for collecting water. I mean, this is America. This is our land of the free, home of the brave, baby. This is it, brother. This is where we live. And now that's why we do this. That's why Vinny and I are here. And now I'm glad you're going to be around a lot, and it's awesome. And we got the Skype going on, so it doesn't matter where you are, you can Skype in. And that's going to be great. And thank you again, Vin, for all that. Now we're going to have one more break coming in, and we got a special guest. But we're not going to give up who it is for various reasons. But we're going to have the third hour is going to be dedicated to one of the topics that I hit upon a lot, And please tune in. Stay tuned to Project Freedom Radio, NFormRadio.com, and of course TruthBroadcastNetwork.com. Vinny, it's so awesome to have you back, and I know we're going to be taking a break in just a minute and then getting the mystery guest on, but I just I missed you because you bring this back. There's this chemistry we have to talk. We could talk for 3 hours and people find it interesting, and I could talk and I don't know how interesting everyone finds it for 3 hours on Saturday. I mean, because it's tough. I mean, an hour is one thing, but
I know. That's why I'm so impressed, Howie, and I give you a lot of credit, because, not a lot of people, can do that. That's why you deserve the credit, Howie. You really do. Wow. I know I can't do it. That's why I'm really good at, what I do.
No, but listen to how much you contribute. My God, you contribute so much. And the idea is the open thought, ladies and gentlemen. You see, listen, you might not agree with Vinny. You might not agree with me. But the fact of the matter is that's the whole point. You learn information, take from it what you like, take from it what you will. It is what we have researched to be the truth. We're not lying to you. We're not controlled by some corporate influence. We're not getting paid to do this. In fact, it costs us quite a bit of effort and time and money and other things to just get it going, to try to give you something that's quality as best we can. And we've been trying from the beginning. So you have stuck around. I don't know, Vinny. I think when we get on with, I know we have the guest coming on in just a minute, and the musical cue automatically. But I mean, we're getting 8,500 views per month on our YouTube channel from our shows.
Yeah, that's great.
A month.
Yeah, I think that's really good for people with no budget, just
doing nothing, but telling the truth.
A little $30 webcam,
Right, exactly. Mine was $49. Big deal, But the truth of the matter is that it makes an impact, and I have to say we've been doing this for 9 months. As far as the 9 months that we've been actually on the air. I mean, I've been making videos before that, but I've in the 9 months. I went from having like 10,000 views to almost 60,000 views, guys. Here we go. We'll be back in just a few minutes with a mystery guest.
Department of Homeland Security requests that everybody stay in their homes.
If anybody ever hears that, get out with your guns and prepare for the end. Their end or yours. Because this is our nation.
We are
one
change.
nation.
Exposing the collectivist global elite's Malthusian quest for a new world order.
Under God.
A one-world dictatorial government where all aspects of human life are under their control.
Indivisible.
Truth Talk Radio, where news the mainstream media ignores is the top story and your voice is heard.
With liberty. We are
Justice.
Change Connecticut. Saturdays, 5 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
For
On
all.
TruthBroadcastNetwork.com. Audio simulcast on Project Freedom Radio, Project Freedom WS, and EnformedRadio.com. Okay, we are back.
That's the letter
on Howard
N.
Nema.
FORMD
Radio.com. And you are listening and watching We Are Change Connecticut with my co-host Vinny Bdatruth. And we are here Saturdays, 5 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as mentioned, on TruthBroadcastNetwork.com. All right. Now, the FDA. Now, I have a big, big problem with the FDA. And you know what? I have guests that have a big problem with the FDA. And we're gonna talk to these particular guests. And I'm going to give them a call. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Dr. Carpenter.
Hey, how you? I was wondering what was going on here.
I don't know. I just got cut off here with Vinny here. I was trying to wonder. I don't have a group call. It doesn't tell me why.
Oh, so you cannot call Randy?
I don't know why. It says I need Skype Premium to make a group call. This never happened before. I had group calls before.
That's what it's telling me too.
But I have that, or I've never had a problem doing it before. Do you hear me, Dr. Carpenter?
Yeah.
Do you
Listen,
hear
I had
Dr.
a message.
Carpenter? Vinny, do you hear Dr. Carpenter?
I hear you guys.
So,
Okay,
I
have a
really
message
weird.
here that says,
we're listening to you. They're telling us we need something else, and we're talking to each other. That's wonderful.
okay, and then it says that I have a message that says, Vinny wants to show video, accept all videos
No,
on
don't.
this call.
But you can, but don't because it'll take away the video that I'm broadcasting. So just
Okay, so I'll say decline.
Right, but Dr. Carpenter, can you add Randy to the call?
No.
Oh, I'll have to add him. Okay.
Yeah, and if you drop me, that's okay. You can add me again
Let's
later.
hope it happens. Here we go. I'm doing it right now. Here we go.
Okay.
Oh, it's telling me it's not letting me add them. Interesting.
Okay, why don't we do this?
Why don't Randy? Why don't you have Randy call and add like he did before? Because that seemed to work. So I'm gonna answer Randy's call. Okay. So what you Dr. Carpenter, just hang up. Right. Okay.
Oh, I'm sending me a message. Do you want me to?
Okay. No, yeah, but you should hang up because he will then call and add you guys to us. Just tell him that, and then we'll talk about what real tyranny is.
Okay. I'm gonna tell him can't do it. Okay. Okay.
All right. I'm going to try to move around here, see if I can get that. All right. Did you leave? Did she leave? Vinny, you still there?
I'm here.
Okay. Strange. All right, let me start a new call, Vinny. I'm gonna call us all, okay? I'm gonna see what happens. This should happen. I'm just gonna call you right back. All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, sorry for the delay. I'm gonna give Vinny a call. Maybe it's because it was all video. That's probably why. Vinny, don't show your mic. I mean, don't show your video. Maybe that's part of the problem. Let me try to add these calls.
Yeah, I'm not using video.
Yeah, don't use video, and I could add people. Yeah, no problem. I'm gonna add who's necessary. I'm gonna add. Oh, Randy's calling. Okay, hold on. All right, Randy's calling. All right, I'm gonna answer, and then I'll add you. Okay. All right. Randy.
Hey, Howard, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Listen, I just realized it's because Vinny was showing video that I couldn't add you in there, but now I can. I can add you everybody to the call.
Okay.
So we
You
should
want
be
me
able.
to,
Yeah,
want
let
me
me
to
just.
drag her? Okay, you want to call her?
Yeah, let
Or
me
I'll
just.
drag her in.
Can you drag Vinny into? Are you his friend as well?
I'm not on Vinny's list, no.
All right, let me do this then. All right, let me just we'll just kill this call for now, and I'll call you. I'll bring you all in. Sorry for the delay, everybody. We're all on air, by the way. This is Randy Simmons, Blazeman Inc.,
Hi.
and we'll be chatting about some
We'll be
interesting
back.
things and some FDA tyranny. Be right back. Okay, everybody. I know I'm here. I will get everybody live, and we shall do this straight. Okay, so I'm gonna call first to. First, I'll call to Vinny. Hey, Vin. All right, now I'm gonna add Randy Simmons. Randy! And I'm going to add.
And I'm here.
Good, Randy. All right, so I'm getting good at this. And now I'm gonna add as well.
Nice to meet you, Randy.
Hey, Vinny. How
Oh,
you
yeah,
doing?
that's
Nice
right.
to
You
meet
haven't met.
too.
That's right.
Yeah,
Vinny,
I've heard a lot about you, but I haven't actually met you yet.
Yes, you guys can chat it up a little while I try to add people to the call. But this Vinny Bdatruth, Randy Simmons.
And I guess we're live, right?
We are live. I'm getting everybody here. So I'm going to add Dr. Carpenter. And we
may do
good
it.
to go.
Okay, great.
Here she comes. Dr. Carpenter. Hey.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm here.
We're all together now. All right. Excellent.
Nice.
See, when I gave up about waiting for the call and I was heading for the kitchen to get something to eat, there it is.
Well, we're all hungry, but 8 o'clock's coming, or in your case, 7 o'clock, because you're down there on Central Time, right? Or, yeah.
Yeah.
So last we spoke, the FDA had obviously just crossed all boundaries of normal sanity and charged you with manufacturing a drug.
Yes.
Took all your property.
Adulterated drug.
Adulterated drug. Took away your property, your the money for your rent, basically. They confiscated your money. They took your lasers.
Right, my mean of making money.
Right.
And they're still gone.
And they're still gone, and they're accusing you of manufacturing a dangerous drug.
Right, an adulterated drug.
This is the same FDA that wants to make walnuts a dangerous drug.
Good point, Howard, because you just took your words out of my mouth. It is, as a matter of fact, because of something that I saw just yesterday. It is U.S. Title 21, Section 321, G1B, which is the exact same citation that they're using against Diamond Foods, that they're using against Dr. Carpenter's stain. Because it's used in the treatment or mitigation of a health issue, it is therefore a drug. Yeah.
It's amazing. If they can't make it from petroleum, it's not a drug. But now it is.
Unreal.
You see, the definition, they switch from definition of a drug or what a drug is used for. What a drug is used for does not mean that that's its definition. And the definition of a drug is something that is first non-food, and it alters the physiological functioning of the body. Okay? Mm-hmm. Now, diamond food, almonds, walnuts are food. Therefore, whether they have omega-3 that can help having.
It's like fish. It's like saying fish is a drug.
Fish oil, right?
Yeah.
Fish
No, it's
oil
like
is-
saying no. It's like saying fish is a drug, or you know.
Right, the same thing because there's fish oil, so it's a drug. But that alter the physiology
I
of.
love it.
But
Crazy.
food coloring and saline are not altering the physiology of the body. They're doing nothing, absolutely nothing. It's just a combination of that and the laser light, which also does nothing because it's a low power laser, does absolutely nothing. But a combination of the two create not a physiological change, it creates a physical change. The light that otherwise is not absorbed by the body is going to be absorbed by the tumor, heats up the tumor and kills it, the tumor only. So that is not a physiological change, it's a physical phenomenon. It's like saying that when you have a car that is black parked under the sun in a parking lot in the summer, you have a drug.
Right. You know, it's unbelievable. And hey, it's incredible. And Dr. Carpenter, unfortunately, Friday is my normal day off, and I went to lunch where I normally do if I have the opportunity. My local place, it's the Winchester in Torrington, Connecticut, probably has the best chef this in Litchfield County, and a good friend of mine by the name of maybe he'll be too modest for me to say his name, but I'm going to say it anyway. It's Ricky at the Winchester. I call out to you in Torrington, Connecticut. But what happened was I'm sitting down, I'm having lunch, and my friend Aldo walks in. And Aldo is a machinist. He works in there's still actually a couple of working factories in Torrington, which used to be a thriving community. That's been deindustrialized like everywhere else in America.
Yeah, because they put it out outside the U.S. Yes.
Yeah, of course. We know. So the sad thing is, he does have a job, and it's a good job, and it's a short walk from this particular establishment. And so he comes in and sits down, and I'm talking to him, and I'm sitting at the bar, I'm having lunch, and he starts talking, and I'm just talking, and something came up, like I might have said something, and he said, well, that's no good for me, I got cancer. And I said, oh God, and like I look over at him, and I never saw it, I didn't notice it until that moment, that he had a golf ball sized tumor on his throat,
Oh. Yeah.
And I started talking to him I asked him some questions, I said, did you ever have anything, I mean, you've been diagnosed. Did they do anything yet? No, but they're planning, all the torture is coming. I mean, he didn't say that, I'm saying that. He's telling me what they're telling him they're going to do. And I told him,
wonderful chemo.
In good conscience, I told him what was coming, and I explained, and he's unfortunately gone through with it somewhat already. And my band is, what are you going to do? The guy makes that, it's your life, you can't, all you can do is lead a horse to water, ladies and gentlemen. I can't make you all drink, but you have to wake up, And unfortunately, he's probably going to, have a bad thing.
Yes, they're going to hit him with radiation first.
I know. And that's what he's going through, and he's going to be out of work, and he has no disability, and he needs money. So the band, As Your Soul, my band, we're doing a benefit at the Winchester restaurant on September 9th, which is a Sunday afternoon, and it'll be to benefit Aldo. And
good.
And unfortunately, he's going to need it.
I mean, it's bad, but it's good.
He's going to need it, right? I mean, it's a heavy heart, but...
but it's not a solution, okay? Because
it is not a solution. Unfortunately, I know, Dr. Carpenter.
And the size of the tumor he has, they're gonna kill him because they have to use everything aggressive. So they're gonna kill him. It's just you have no idea what it does to me because I know that these people do not need to be out of work.
My stomach's wrenching right now.
I know.
We were just talking on the other because we just ended our show and before we came on here.
And that's on medicalconspiracy.com,
right.
on Orion Network,
on Orion,
OrionRadio.com.
OrionTalkRadio.com and medicalconspiracy.com. Sign the petition. Come on, people. We need some signatures.
This is Dr. Carpenter. Go into your background after Randy goes into his thing. But go ahead.
Yeah,
Randy.
just real quick though. What you said made me think of this because we were right toward the end of the show. We were talking about this. That one of the last former patients of Dr. Carpenter's that came on air, and I think also one that signed the petition. They didn't want their real names used, and. I got the weirdest explanation, and it's actually happened with more than just one patient. It says, we don't want our real names out there because one of them said this to me. It said, I don't want my family to know that I actually was diagnosed with cancer. Because if they find out that I did not go for radiation and chemotherapy, they will have a fit. And and Dr. Carpenter has seen
doesn't make any sense at all.
Well, and she's also seen rifts put in place in the middle of a family because part of the family is supporting the laser therapy. The other part of the family is supporting, as is ingrained into their religion nowadays, the standard medicine. And so, and real serious family problems erupt around this.
Right.
Well, let me give you another example that is happening just right now, okay? This is in Canada. It's a Canadian patient, and it's a friend of another patient of mine, okay? This guy had colon cancer. He just went for surgery last year. They removed the piece of colon, and then they cleared it, but he refused chemo radiation after that. And then the cancer did come back, and they say that's because you didn't have chemo radiation, which is a bunch of nonsense because you still get it to come back. But anyway, well, what has come back, though, is just happened to be wrapped around the major artery. Mm. It's a pre- and post-iliac. And they cannot do anything about it. They cannot operate. They cannot use radiation. They could do chemo, but that doesn't do much of anything. It's wrapped around, and when you have it wrapped around the vessel like that, the person is a dead man, okay? Mm-hmm. So they told him he is terminal. Okay, so my friend, because she has become a friend, her husband actually was a patient, but she has remained a friend. And she told him, and she was trying to talk him into coming, because that's to see, I'm the only one that can treat the cancer that is wrapped around the major vessel. I've done it with people that have wrapped around the carotid or the jugular, and it does nothing to the vessel.
Well, Dr. Carpenter, Vinny, I'm sure is very interested, and he hasn't heard, and many listeners really haven't heard about your techniques and what you're doing.
Yeah, okay. Basically, what it is that we are doing is, photodynamic therapy has been around for quite a while. And basically, what they do, inject something which in standard photodynamic therapy is a drug. This drug supposedly absorbs the light from the laser. And then, in the opinion of physicians, which is wrong, there is a chemical reaction that kills the cancer. They think that is producing oxygen, and oxygen malarkey kills the cancer. That's their medical mentality. But the reality is that if you use the proper stain, and it doesn't have to be a drug, with the light that you need to use that is not absorbed by normal tissue, that human tissue, because otherwise you damage everything. So you use a wavelength in the near infrared that is not absorbing an amount that can cause damage. Plus, it's a low-power laser. But if you have a stain there that absorbs that light, then the tumor, and the tumor only, will heat up, reach 134 Fahrenheit, and will die. Okay?
Right.
Wow. Okay.
That's the whole theory behind it, Vinny. That's how it works.
I get it.
But only the stained area reaches that temperature. Only the stained.
Right, exactly. Only the targeted area.
And because we use something that it's a color water-based, it doesn't do anything, but it's water-based, so the healthy tissue cannot retain it. It will flush it out immediately. But the cancer, when they say, it's affinity to this and that or that drug, no, it's a bunch of malarkey. The cancer retain anything a lot longer than healthy tissue will retain it, because the cancer has got all this energy involved in the growth stage, and so it cannot eliminate waste that quickly. So it will retain a worthless stain that does nothing longer than healthy tissue. That's enough time to illuminate it with the light, absorb the light, and die in place without collateral damage, because the exposure is just 60 seconds per spot. So there is no collateral transmission of heat. There is no collateral damage. So you can treat a tumor that is fully wrapped around the major vessel and do nothing to the major vessel.
Wow.
nothing to the surrounding
Unbelievable.
tissue. It's perfect. It's
It
perfect.
sounds-
It's simple, and it's simple because it's basic science. It's
Yes,
basic
but it's
physics.
against the
It's
medical mafia. It's against the Rockefellers. Now, listen, Vinny's going to be intrigued. Now, we're going to be taking a break in just a minute and be
Yeah.
coming back with Dr. Carpenter, Randy Simmons, and my co-host, Vinny Bdatruth. And he's going to be intrigued to hear the baseline story because, again, a lot of people that listen maybe haven't heard, and we always try to get new listeners. So people that haven't heard the fact that this technology that you came up with, you went to the Rockefeller Foundation, and they turned you down. But then they like you, but they won't pay you. So then they steal from you. And the way they did it, ladies and gentlemen, is literally put this poor woman out of business, which is textbook Rockefeller tactics. And in fact, Vinny will identify that immediately.
After 3 years of COINTELPRO assassination, character assassination.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Which
yeah.
is
And
part of the whole control.
And I guarantee you that they went to the safe because when I read the story of another European scientist in the early 50s and when he was raided by FDA, I guarantee you that they went to the safe. They were looking for the written protocol. They wanted to steal the protocol, but no dice. Anyway, anyway, it's written. The protocol is written, etched in my mind.
How could it not be? I mean, how could it not be? The FDA criminals
But I
that they are.
I didn't write books. I didn't write it down. Okay.
Well, look, they send their minions on you. They put their minions on you. They controlled it. They created this whole regulatory system so that they could benefit and profit and create and be above the law. That's what they do.
And they sought out.
But they really don't want to use this. Now, that's my opinion. They don't want to use it because they're not going to be able to make any money with it.
No, they can't make it. You'll cure people,
Exactly.
and eventually you'll have a cure for it. So if cancer occurs, it's a cure. There's no profit in cures. You know that. That's part of the whole medical mafia.
And
Right.
they sought out cases to publicly demonize Dr. Carpenter, and they got a hold of 3 that were involved in other things, a lot of different things other than just the laser therapy.
Everybody that says they had the cancer come back, which didn't, but they have problems in this and that, every single one of them went back to chemo radiation.
But then they used these cases publicly to say, see what this laser therapy does?
Okay, but the latest, I want to tell you, the latest development is, they took all the files. They have all the name of all the patient. They have everything there. Well, one of my patients told me she received a letter from FDA to call them if they want to talk to.
Well, listen, let's talk about that letter. We're going to be hitting a break in about 7 seconds. We'll be right back with
talk
Dr.
about
Carpenter in about, I don't know, call a song break. See you soon.
Okay.
All right.
UN Agenda 21, bailouts, sellouts, Lehman Brothers, Goldman Sachs, false flag, terror attacks, Bill Gates, Henry Kissinger, New World Order, mind control, Bank of America, stealing homes.
And we might not be able to talk because we might be going.
Mute your mics, guys.
Guns, Gila camps, Mandarin, Monsanto rules the food supply while Big Pharma dopes your mind. Prison system, profiteers, foundations, fund the fears, fund the evil through the years. The world's not as it appears. CIA smuggles drugs while Wachovia and Wells Fargo launder them, then give the proceeds to the owners of the Federal Reserve Bank. Now the IRS takes money out of every single check. Money created out of thin air and leave you with debt. They want to make you a serf, a slave to their demand. They want to take your life in every way they can. Fluoride, GMO, vaccines, chemtrails, United Nations genocide. The world they show us is not real. This is how they kill and steal. Rothschild, Bundy, Rockefeller, Club of Rome. On the Georgia Guidestones it's written in stone. Cut through the matrix, awaken to the lies. Do not be hypnotized. We are one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is As Your Soul, deep inside. Mind control guy on the right there. It always makes me crazy. I guess we can start coming back. It's awesome, though. This is my band, As Your Soul.
Okay.
You probably can't hear it.
No, I didn't hear anything.
That's what makes it confusing because we can't hear it. Silence on this one.
All right, we'll be coming back in just a minute, folks. You're listening to We Are Change Connecticut with Howard Nema and Vinny Bdatruth. And our guests tonight are Dr. Antonella Carpenter and Randy Simmons of Blaze Med Inc. and MedicalConspiracy.com on Orion Network. Orion Radio Network. Orion, right?
Brian Talk Radio.
All right. Okay, let's mute up for a little and let me play guitar.
Okay. You and Randy, right? Okay, that was a shameless plug for my band.
We Are Change, exposing the collectivist global
we are
elites'
here every
Malthusian quest for
Saturday
a new world order.
5
A
p.m.,
one-world
ladies and gentlemen.
dictatorial government where all aspects of human life
Exposing
are under their
the new
control.
world order.
Truth Talk Radio,
All
where
aspects,
news the mainstream
including
media ignores
the
is the
medical
top story,
conspiracy,
and your voice is heard.
which we are under right now. We Are Change Connecticut. Saturdays,
Let me
5
ask
to
you
8
something.
p.m.
Let me
Eastern
ask you
Standard
something.
Time.
The friend of yours that has the throat cancer, where is the lump
Audio
located? Did you
simulcast
see it?
on Project Freedom Radio. Say that again.
Where is the lump
US.
located? Just exactly where the lump is located.
.com. Oh, it is in his. It is above his,
That's
by his carotid artery. FORMD Radio.
You can't
You can
touch
see
it.
it. .com.
Yeah, and it's near the area.
It's like a golf ball size thing. That's
Okay.
like.
They cannot remove it, okay?
No,
If
they're
you
gonna
see it,
try.
they
They said they're gonna.
No, They can't. They're gonna kill him. You cannot touch him if he's near the carotid.
Maybe they won't. Maybe I don't know what they're gonna do.
You know what else they're gonna do
disgusting.
though? In a case like that, they're gonna remove the voice box.
Oh my God, this guy's in for some horror. I told him he's in for horror. I would just say, look, I don't know what to say, but I mean, I was praying that I would have a chance to talk to you, honestly, about this, but he already had made moves or decisions, whatever, and now apparently he's going to be out of work for a long time, and he's not going to have any money. So I think it's already happened, Doctor.
Yeah, he's not gonna make it. Yeah, they removed the voice box, and they say that's okay. We can put your sensitizer there, and then you can talk. And have you heard people that? I know it's always
easier. Yeah.
Yeah, you should see what a mess that is. It's awful.
I know.
Well, you know, and
I know a little bit about what can be awful to people.
God.
I mean, it just is a nightmare. When he's on the throat, I mean, if it's near a major vessel, his life is worth nothing. And then they remove the voice box. There is something. Oh, that's okay. No big deal. No. Yeah, to them, it's
Dr.
awful.
Even in
Yeah.
Dr. Carpenter, how long were you practicing this before they came after you?
Well, I started very slowly in 2000, and it progressed very, very slowly. Only 2008, the things that progressed quite well. And then I was in Arkansas at the time, and they started attacking me because it was affecting the work of the medical school in town, and they started harassing me. So I got fed up, and I moved to Oklahoma, opening the beginning of January 2009. And so I've been in Oklahoma 3.5 years, but since I left, there's been harassment from Arkansas big time, and I guess Oklahoma officially cannot harass me because of the rules of the state of Oklahoma. You cannot harass alternative practitioner, but they found a way to do it anyway.
They sure did, didn't they? They sent the
with lies.
Listen, Vinny. Actually, Vinny wasn't there. Randy, you read, and I actually posted it, and it's up there on Truth Talk
I got it
News.
right here.
Read it, because I don't know if in the efforts of time, I'm not going to look it up and just show the people. But read it, because I've already shown the people here on Truth Talk News in the archives where we actually showed this on the screen, the actual document. Read it.
Well, the intro basically says, and like it's 28
Vinny,
pages.
this is insane. No, just read it. But listen, here's what she did. She has she has a laser there. She has the saline and the stain, which is saline and food coloring. Okay. And that's it.
But the intro sentence says, based on my investigation to date, I have reason to believe that Antonella Carpenter and her business, Lays Med, are involved in an ongoing fraudulent scheme in which they promote and administer a misbranded drug and device to individuals with cancer while making false promises and representations to these individuals.
Yeah, but before that, aren't they saying that we are a store?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm currently assigned to an investigation of criminal violations of federal law by Antonella Carpenter, the owner and operator of a retail store known as Lays Med, Inc.
Owner and operator? What am I, a truck driver?
But, I mean, every part of this. Antonella Carpenter and her employees are violating USC by knowingly devising a scheme to defraud and obtain money from individuals with cancer by means of fraudulent pretenses, representations, or promises. Well, I'm getting to something, which were material in using interstate wire communications for the purpose of executing this scheme, causing a drug to be misbranded within the meaning of 21 USC 352 and a device to be adulterated within the meaning of the same, with the drug and device held for sale after shipment in interstate commerce. That is the big lie. That is, well, there's several big lies in here, but saying that the drug and the device are being basically retailed out, held for resale.
And so we are manufacturing without a manufacturing license.
Wow.
But also, when it came down to it, said that they did this raid, which was classified as investigational. Since when you do a raid as an investigation? Okay?
Good point. Think about that. How could you raid somebody just to investigate them?
Right. And then...
Unless you had charges that you were going to give them.
Well, they were probably hoping they had something to charge
Well,
me
then
with.
how could they? What was their probable cause that you had done what?
Right, and they said because they
Why
received
aren't you?
the
Why, I mean, I'm not saying that I would want it, but think about it. The fact that they
Yeah.
did all this, they took your away your
Because-
to make a living. They have no charges. They can't lock you up.
they said that they received the complaint of 3 people.
Yeah, and you know who those 3 people talked to, Howard?
Right.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you know who those
Yeah.
3 people talked to, don't you?
Yes,
yeah,
I do.
Same one, the same woman.
Michelle Wolven.
Yeah, but listen, they had complaint of 3 people. What about talking to people that are happy with the treatment? Oh, well, that's
No,
our
they'll never.
investi-
They don't do that. That's not part of the investigation. I know, right? Yeah.
Right. Well, as I said, a patient of mine, I don't know if others have received it, but a patient of mine told me she received a letter from Jeremy Bain, FDA, but Jeremy Bain saying that they have it as a patient of Liz Medink, and if she wants to talk to him, to call him or such and such number. To call that. Why didn't he call her? They stole the file. They have all the information. And then he demanded people that have written testimonial, demand the name and contact, and I gave it to him. Name and contact. And then they're writing to her and saying, if you want to talk to us. And then when she found out that what the situation is, she said, oh, yeah, I'll call him. I'll call him and I'll tell him we have the right to choose what we want, the treatment we want. And you cannot stop us. See? Yeah. Because the issue is choice. Aside from the fact that she avoided being mutilated and poisoned and all of that. But it's an issue of choice. And they are trying to stop people from having a choice, which is a much better choice than what they're being offered.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Of course.
Because, with our treatment, the guy, it wouldn't affect his vein at all, his artery at all. It wouldn't affect anything. He wouldn't lose his face. He wouldn't lose his voice box. Nothing.
And
It's
I'm
just-
looking at.
What?
I'm sorry. I'm still got this affidavit in my hand, but one of the big things in here, to heat the infected area, cancerous area to the temperature that claims to kill the tumor, a process called light-induced enhanced selective hyperthermia. Because Oxy-M, the stain, is intended to treat, cure, or mitigate cancer, it is a drug within the meaning of 21 USC 321 G1B. Because the laser is also intended to treat, cure, or mitigate cancer and does not appear to achieve its primary intended purpose through chemical action within or on the body of the man or other animals. Sorry, I'm not an animal. And does not appear to be dependent upon being metabolized for the achievement of its primary intended purpose. It is also a device within the meaning of 21 USC.
No, it's not, because it's not a device to the meaning, because it's not metabolizing anything. And it's not having a physiological change. It's not doing anything. It's just providing heat. And that is nature, is not physiological. It's part of nature. You cannot get away. That's what I said. A car becomes a medical treatment.
And I'm going to stop after this, but this is so rich, because everything else, he gives a reason for this is so-and-so because of X, Y, and Z. Well, this is a point here, point number 24 on page 8. Carpenter is preying on patients and giving false hope to those who are seeking treatment options for their disease. In turn, she charges a fee for the treatments that are not covered by insurance.
Of course they're not. Because the medical mafia won't allow that.
And so what is that a crime?
Yeah, she uses
I'm
interstate
just saying.
communication.
No, that's why. That's why Dr. Carpenter, because you've got the New World Order medical mafia, they can't allow you to have any type of alternative to the treatments that are FDA approved and CDC approved and Rockefeller and Rothschild approved.
Yeah, but there is nothing left to approving what I do. Because I use something that is approved for human consumption and is not a drug, and I use a laser that is low power, it doesn't do any damage, so there is no problem. The combination of the two becomes a medical practice, becomes a protocol, and the FDA does not regulate medical practice. cannot say what they approve, how it is used. They cannot. That's not part of their mandate. So the whole thing is a phony. And
Of
it's
course,
easy to
of
They have no
course.
jurisdiction.
It's another New World Order Ponzi scheme. Come on, it's all it is.
and it ruined me and put me in a position not to be able to live.
Right.
It's the Ponzi scheme, because as long as I'm alive, they figure I will work on it.
And how many
Well,
phone
they're
calls
right,
have you got?
though. How could you not? I mean, this is like people have to know about this, Dr.
I
Carpenter.
know,
That's why I'm helping you in any way I can, because people have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, that the answer is not chemotherapy and radiation if you have cancer. And there are other, it's not the medical mafias or the ones that buy out or sell out and get part of it.
Yeah.
Like Brzezinski or
Yeah.
others, right?
And people are still calling her, trying to seek her treatment out, and she's having to turn these people away.
Because you can't treat them. How could you treat them if they took away her medicine? Her medicine, whatever you want to call it. Misspoke. Her
The equipment that I
lasers,
need.
the equipment
Yeah.
that you need, the lasers and because obviously saline and food coloring is not medicine. Okay. So,
Yeah, you get off the shelf.
Yeah.
What's the point of taking it? I mean, and even the laser, okay? It can be reproduced. And by the way, they even took another laser that I have for just other uses there. They took it, and it's something that I bought.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
theft.
that's theft. Not only that, they took your money. They
Right.
took your money.
Oh,
Mafia
because you
gang.
made this
Thousands
money,
of dollars. Vinny, they
Yeah.
took like thousands of dollars.
and
Yeah,
they
the
said
mafia
that,
told-
and they said that was because I made that money legally.
Where's the warrant for that? Where's it? Why aren't you in jail? Why didn't they lock you up? Fuck them!
They
These
were-
motherfuckers! I'm so
I'd like to know where
sorry.
the ACL
Oh!
I'd like to know where the ACLU is for
Yeah,
someone
where's
like
the ACLU or the Southern Poverty Law Center now? Those motherfuckers.
Worthless.
Those
That's what they
worthless
are.
scum.
Them to help
They-
me nothing.
or where's Susan G. Komen, who actually gets fucking perfume from companies that they use in their ad campaigns, that actually their product actually causes breast cancer. I'm not making this up.
Well, and they support. No, you're not, because you know what the Common Foundation say. You know what the race
I
for
know
the,
what yes. Oh, go
the
ahead.
mammogram, and the mammogram
Yeah.
causes cancer.
They do, of course. The more exposure to radiation, the more chance you're gonna have of cancer. It's
There's not an
obvious.
epidemic of breast cancer right
It's
now.
an
There's
epidemic of mammograms.
epidemic of early detection, mammograms, false positives, and chemo and radiation. That's what's an epidemic right now.
Exactly, brother. You hit it right on the head. That's the truth. That's the New World Order. But it works. It kills people. How many
What?
people die of cancer every year? Think about it.
They don't die of cancer. They die of cancer treatment.
Well, that's what I mean. Cancer
that's
treatment.
the point.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
how you got to put it. How many people die of the treatment? Think about it. We all
They all-
know. My own cousin had cancer and didn't take any of the treatment, and they said she'd be dead in 6 months, and she lived 3 years. She
Yeah.
took all certain alternative sources, but I don't know,
Yeah,
whatever.
And then they
But she
can.
had
you can-
surgery, and initially she had surgery, which is, I understand, like the worst thing you can do, right?
Yeah, because
So you just
we-
don't cut, no matter what. Don't cut. Right?
No, because you are interfering with the encapsulation of the tumor, and you, by cutting into it, you are spreading it. And so metastases do not occur naturally. They happen because of the things people do.
I gotcha. That's the point that we want everybody to know. And that's why the FDA and the criminal mafia, the medical mafia, the Rockefeller-founded... Again, remember your technology, because we only have a couple of minutes and we're going to be going to the end here. And again, I want to thank you. If we get cut off, I want to thank you, Dr. Carpenter, and we're going to continue our battle with you.
Thank you for having us.
Of course, and I want to thank you, Randy, of course. But here, let me
Thank
get
you,
this.
Howard.
You're very
Thank you
welcome,
for helping
brother.
us get the word out.
You know, man, and you've got to, this is the whole point, that this medical mafia, you went to the Rockefeller Foundation and then the Winthrop Rockefeller Hospital in Arkansas.
Yeah, and
All
they funded the
it's a
medical
cancer,
school, not us.
Right, it's a cancer hospital, so they fund the medical cancer hospital, right, school, and you don't get any funding, but yet they like your technology, offer you some money, right?
No, they didn't offer me anything.
Well, who offered you the money?
Nobody ever did.
Well,
They want it. Give it to us because we're the expert and we know what to do with it.
No,
and
I
you
understand.
go away.
Well, the Rockefellers, because they're just cheap as hell. But didn't one of the hospitals offer you like a puny sum?
No, nobody ever offered me anything. Give it to us because we're the expert and you go away. All the hospital did the same thing.
Just take it with force is all they offered.
Yeah.
Criminal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nobody
it's
said
amazing. I mean, if we had real journalists and real people out in the media, I mean, I feel like this should be like such a big story, and I feel
I
so.
know,
Oh, dude,
everybody
Mike
wants it.
Adams, this should be on the front page of naturalnews.com,
Yeah, you're right.
but he's not going to touch it.
No.
No, because he got to take orders from Alex.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Adnan Khashoggi and people like that.
That's right.
Yeah, that's what they do.
That's who owns his network.
Yeah. So you're not going to hear the truth except from us, from Howard and a few people that are trying to help. That's where the truth is. And if you read, there is information on the web too. And you see the pictures of the results. How can people ignore that? They are there for heaven's sake. The healing is slow and it takes time, but the pictures are there that show that the person healed. And the other pictures show that it's actually dead tissue because the maggots are eating it. I mean, come on, people. Wake up.
You know, it's just unbelievable that we have, it's just because of the control. I mean, you have, again, and who owns these hospitals? Masonicaire, like I'm tapping a bone on you there. I'm
trying to stay quiet.
A skull and bone on you because of the control of the Masons. I know of it, of course, and it's not just the Masons, as you know.
It's not.
Yes, I am Lucifer. Well, I am Lucifer. What about those hospitals?
But they have most. I got to tell you, all the evil shit they're entangled in. So you looking at that, it just there are other sects, other organizations, other things, but they're a big part of it, and we know that. The truth
and they're lying to patients, and then they turn
but
around.
they have to do this though. The Shriners Hospital for Children, they have to,
They lie, and then they turn around and say that I am lying to the patients.
Well, you remember what happened when we had our show on Truth Talk News. I had you on, and on the air, and again, everyone can look in the archives. I don't know exactly the date, but I had Dr. Carpenter. Not only did we get zapped, I got a virus by clicking on the guy that claimed he was cured of pancreatic cancer at the Cancer Centers for Treatment Centers of America. You remember that?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That's right.
And I looked him up right on there, and it went boom. I searched him, and I got a virus right away.
Boy, howdy.
It was funny, right? Because
it's
a fraud. It's a fraud, ladies and gentlemen. It's all a fraud.
They don't get cured. They get messed up.
No,
that's
exactly it. Okay, listen again. I think we have about 50 seconds. So give me some closing thoughts, and thank you again for joining us, Dr. Carpenter. And again, Medical Conspiracy, sign the petition.
And please sign the petition. Sign the petition because there is strength in number. We have to bring attention to what FDA does and pressure FDA.
Or you can go to change.org and search Dr. Carpenter laser, and that'll bring it up too.
Any other thoughts, Vinny? Any closing thoughts? Because we'll be here next week.
I'm just sitting here amazed by this. And again, listeners, this isn't like something that hard. Go on the computer and sign a petition. They're not, we're not asking you to protest or fight or nothing. I mean, it's not much they're asking for, and people need to start doing stuff. And it's a pleasure meeting you guys, and hearing this is amazing, and I wish the best for you.
This is our. We've got about a minute to go here because I got the siren. The new thing is at the end of the show I'm putting the siren so I can't forget. I guess we got a few minutes more than I thought, but it's nice. So the sirens are beckoning, and the terror and tyranny of the New World Order is absolutely lurking, but it's lurking beneath the surface and nobody's paying attention. And this is a perfect example of the tyranny that you guys are under. Yeah. I mean, this is unbelievable. They are the medical mafia.
Yeah, they are. That's what they are.
It's unbelievable. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Carpenter. God bless you, and we'll see you soon.
Okay, thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
See you later.
Yeah, see you later. Bye.
I want to give a thanks out to Bobby K at Project Freedom Radio, and we'll be here again next Saturday, 5 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Project Freedom Radio. Can't forget truthbroadcastnetwork.com. Thanks, Harry. Thanks, Pam, UnitedTruthSeekers.com. Thanks, everybody. God bless you all. See you next week. Tune in Monday, okay? Through Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on TruthBroadcasterNetwork.com. Saturday, 5 to 8 p.m. We Are Change Connecticut with Howard Nema, Vinny Bdatruth, here on Project Freedom Radio.ws and TruthBroadcastNetwork.com. Because right before that, they had an Autism Speaks commercial. That was okay on the television. I mean, on the radio. Like, that was the commercial. And I started mentioning stuff about it and about vaccines, and they went wild. Oh, my God. So what can I say? Resistance to tyranny is obedience to God. You know, that's all I can say.
Monsanto really is the most powerful company, I feel. Like, you know, if not, it's definitely got to be up there. To me, it's the #1 evil company that needs to be taken down. You know, besides, let's say, the Federal Reserve. But, you know, for just a regular corporation, that is the epitome of evil, is Monsanto.
Oh, it is. They do terrible experiments and horrific things, splicing food with animals and really wild, crazy, like, you know, Dr. Moreau type stuff, you know.
Or Dr. Mangala.
Dr. Mangala, yeah.
What I was gonna say is, we were talking about before. Then we went to break. I was saying how I really haven't been able to hear too much news of the recent things. So maybe you could fill me in, and maybe other listeners that don't know. But, like, what are some of the big things I've missed in the past couple months? The only thing I kept seeing was, the shootings and the Olympics. Tell me more about the what's going on with Iran and all that, because I really don't know.
Well, again, Israel is now. I had some news right here. Saudi Arabia says it's going to intercept Israeli planes if they decide to strike Iran. We, of course, back Israel. Interesting thing, because Saudi Arabia and America are supposed to be friends. We have war drums beating, man. We have more. Syria they're just striking. In fact, Hillary is out there. They're just ready to take out Assad. They're just planning for his demise. They literally are. They're actually reporting it on the mainstream news. They're preparing for his demise, whatever that means. So he's going down. Syria's next. Next. And the Rothschilds will get their central bank again and take all the resources and all the money.
Mm-hmm. Or or this could be, you know, would again, another thing that they've been talking about for a long time is World War III.
Oh, it is World War III. It's going to be, because it won't happen. Saudi Arabia is going to intercept Israeli attacks. Israel is going to attack Iran. They're not gonna wait. They say they have the intelligence. They're doing the same playbook, Vinny. Weapons of mass destruction. We have credible evidence. We know there are weapons of mass destruction. I did a whole video on that where it shows it.
Right?
Yeah. Where are they? Yeah. They got rid of them by the time we got there. That's what they. Yeah, they did. Yeah. Now this whole thing. Okay, we are back. It is not Christmas 1940 in every town, but the images you're seeing are from the movie The Things to Come. I thought Vinny and I would chat a little. You're back there, Vinny? There you are.
Hey. Yeah.
With that in the background, I'm going to see if I can do that. I'm getting a lot of echo from you, buddy. You might have to go my route and get headphones for next week, but it's all right. I can hear you, but how are you doing now? Speak.
I've been muting it, so.
Yeah, you're gonna have to. You're gonna have to do that old game. Yeah. Oh well, we did that for like, I don't know, 20 shows, 30 shows.
Yeah, we do what we got to do, you know.
Yeah, we do what we got to do. That's what we do. Yeah, I was just wondering if I can get a little small. I think I can. I think I actually can get. I'm not sure. I'm trying to with this. Not the best with this. No, that's the other way around. I don't want that. There is a way I can make you like small, and that would be really cool, you know. And
well, you don't have to show me. You could show the video.
Yeah, I like it. Then you could be in there, you know. Why not? I'm trying to figure out how I can do it. I'm learning as we go along, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone and I love you all, everybody who are the loyal listeners, and I know we've got a nice group of them. Thank you so much, and for dealing with me getting through this technology. But you can see in the last 2 weeks it's gotten better. But yeah, I'm still a little bit, I guess you could say, challenged by the new system. I can make your face like small and have it in the background too, but there's some way to do it. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Maybe I can go like that. No, it's just telling me to go back. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I can show it this way. That's actually something I could do. I didn't realize that. I can make you small here. This is one thing I can do. Creativity on the spot. All right. So I'll make you small.
So Howie, I wanted to mention 9/11 coming up.
Yes, it is.
So it was a big day to me. I was down there last year. That's how I got to become friends with a lot of good guys. That's how I met Jesse William Wallace and Alec. And looking forward to going down again. I know you said you're going down, right?
Oh, and, yes. We're going to be down there with Harry Lincoln, truthbroadcastnetwork.com, and doing live feed from there, brother.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I will definitely be a part of that. It's something I don't ever want to miss. September 11 down there.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's a hard thing to deal with, but I mean, you know, it is the right thing to do. Again, it's a tough day for me. I mean, my cousin died. He worked for Cantor Fitzgerald, so it has a personal place for me. And again, most people in his mother is a
UN Agenda 21, bailouts, sellouts, Lehman Brothers, Goldman Sachs, false flag, terror attacks, Bill Gates, Henry Kissinger, New World Order, mind control, Bank of America stealing homes with cut and paste mortgage loans, police, state, taser guns, FEMA camps, man to run. Monsanto rules the food supply while Big Pharma dopes your mind. Prison system, profiteers, foundations, fund the fears, fund the evil through the years. The world's not as it appears. CIA smuggles drugs while Wachovia and Wells Fargo launder them, then give the proceeds to the owners of the Federal Reserve Bank. Now the IRS takes money out of every single check. Money created out of thin air and leave you with debt. They want to make you a serf, a slave to their demand. They want to take your life in every way they can. Fluoride, GMO, vaccines, chemtrails. trails, United Nations genocide. The world they show us is not real. This is how they kill and steal. Rothschild, Bundy, Rockefeller, Club of Rome. On the Georgia Guidestones it's written in stone. Cut through the matrix, awaken to the lies. Do not be hypnotized. We are one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Shameless plug.
We are change, exposing the collectivist global elite's Malthusian quest for a new world order. A one-world dictatorial government where all aspects of human life are under their control. Truth Talk Radio, where news the mainstream media ignores is the top story and your voice is heard.
We Are Change Connecticut, Saturdays 5 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on truthbroadcastnetwork.com. Audio simulcast on Project Freedom Radio, Project Freedom WS, and nformedradio.com. That's the letter N, FORMD radio.com. Interestingly enough, King Obama is sort of hush-hush and mum on this whole situation with the Iran nuclear weapons. He's sort of the White House is taking a mum stance, yet they're more interested in the Syrian situation, where they're speaking about Syria and dealing with that issue, saying that they will again be planning the end of Assad's regime. I don't know what else to say about that. Obviously, they have their ducks in a row. So then you have the green energy politics now. You got Solyndra and other companies they give all this money to. They go out of business over and over again. These energy companies going green. Agenda 21 is just causing the absolute destruction of our economy. It's helping destroy. Every dollar they put into green energy takes away a job from an American. It's that true.
Yeah.
Now Obama has now funded another company called Solar Trust, who filed for bankruptcy protection on Monday. It had the rights for the 1,000 megawatt Blythe solar panel project in Southern California, which you'd think they would get plenty of sunlight, right? Anyway, in the desert. Anyway, last April they won a $2.1 billion conditional loan guarantee, but now they're bankrupt. So obviously that's a problem. They got the loan guarantee from the Department of Energy. What a shock. Now Reuters, Rothschild, reported Solar Trust of America, which holds development rights for the world's largest solar power plant, on Monday filed for bankruptcy protection under its majority owner, and they began insolvency proceedings in Germany. The Oakland-based company has held rights for the 1,000 megawatt Blythe solar power project in the Southern California desert, which last April won a $2.1 billion of conditional loan guarantees from the U.S. Department of Energy, and it's unclear of how the bankruptcy will affect that project. Now, Solar Trust says that it ran short of liquidity after the Solar Millennium Act. More like they ran short of liquidity as the globalists took all their money, which holds 70% stake sought court protection. All right, very nice. Taxpayers could lose $2 billion, but what's another $2 billion, right? It's all good, right? We're all friends. It's all the same debt. 17 trillion, who cares? Our great-grandchildren being enslaved, being serfs, while the elite continue to milk and pillage and have all the cush jobs. And it's the same thing with the music business, man. We talked about this, and I'm going to be happy to have Professor Griff on, somebody that actually made it in the music business and exposed the truth about it. It doesn't matter how good you are.
And you see, one of the things with him that's always interesting is you got the guy Flavor Flav.
Wake. She doesn't believe the story. But she's not one to be vocal, so what can I say about that? And she doesn't go to the memorial. So it's sad. His name was Alan Merdinger. He worked for Cantor Fitzgerald. He was an accountant. He lived in Allentown, Pennsylvania. And he commuted from Allentown, Pennsylvania every day to the World Trade Center.
Yeah. Also, speaking of Pennsylvania, you made me remember the other day, actually, I got to see you playing Kelly Derrick's Thing for Millions Against Monsanto, her speech. And that was awesome. Kelly Derrick's a very close friend of mine. She's a great person. That's another person maybe one day we'll have her come on. She's Agent Orange. His legacy was started by her. Her father was a Vietnam War hero, came back, was involved in the bust, which is one of the biggest things in Philadelphia history for the cops. The biggest heroin bust was her father. And, great person, amazing story. And she has a lot of information about Monsanto.
Oh, yeah, they're my favorite. They're one of the main reasons I'm still, or I started to do this, is I went, a good friend of mine, Jock Williams, the Singer-Songwriter Network here in Torrington, Connecticut, and I'm a part of it. He does a radio show on WAPJ radio, FM radio, and he asked me to come on and talk about some political things. So I figured, okay, that's great, shouldn't be any problem, right? So I start talking about Monsanto and vaccines and all these other things, and the station manager rips down the street and comes in the station and says, "You can't," and waits till the break, and "You can't talk about that here." And I had a big fight with them, and they kicked me out of the station and told me never to come back because I wanted to talk about Monsanto. So that was my first resistance, and that was in October of 2000, and I think it was 2010. And,
freedom of speech, huh?
Yeah, my freedom of speech was limited. Yeah. And that started me on my quest. I was making videos and getting, that's how it all sort of started. I was, doing my research. I woke up, and I started spreading this information. And the Monsanto was one of the first things I delved into. And it's probably one of the worst things because they are just so entrenched in everything we eat. Not just everything we eat. They're military industrial complex. They make poisons and pesticides and
Roundup and all that.
Yeah, so it's not only do they make things that we eat, ladies and gentlemen, they make poison to kill people, kill things. Yeah, Monsanto's a bad deal. So that was a big realization to wake up and realize that Monsanto had so much control that I was talking about Monsanto, and that was the real reason. And it's interesting.